In the beginning, Slayer. Slayer, Slayer. Slayer have always been a band to be reckoned with. Their debut album, just vicious fucking riffs, ripping your ears and your brain and your soul apart for the greater good of Satan. They've always had that satanic edge, and I believe that comes from Venom worship. Venom was the first thrash metal band, but I digress. Jeff Hanneman, Kerry King, Tom Araya, and Dave Lombardo from Cuba. These four people found each other in California, a cosmopolitan immigrant situation. It would be a completely other video or essay or commentary if Slayer were a completely white Christian national band. But they weren't. They were a result of a melting pot, a specific and very unique Western world melting pot in the 80s. So you have to take that into account. If immigration and if like Mexicans weren't living there way before your favorite European descendant convicts and troublemakers came over and took the land by force, would we ever achieve such a band as Slayer? Slayer really encapsulates a situation where if it weren't for, immigration, we would never have such amazing music, such astounding, life-affirming, and just all-around positive artwork for the brain, artwork for the ears. All the people that hate immigrants and hate anybody that's of color just simply because of the color, not because of their actions or not because of their intents. These people are Nazis. Think about it. If you're a Nazi and you're a Slayer fan, you're a goddamn moron. Because every single element in a band is just as important as the other, regardless of their mission or their occupation within the band, regardless of their output, regardless if they are the main songwriter without the other elements there to inspire, to collaborate and create a unique situation, a unique artistic product. It would be a completely different animal. And the animal we got was a massive band. Slayer is worldwide, and there's no reason for anyone to lash against them at all. Now, Jeff Hanneman, he is half German, half American. His father fought the Nazis as an American, which is probably why he ended up with a lot of memorabilia. And of course, just given the time and the place, much like Lemmy, he just grew up, surrounded with these things that had to do with World War II. They both grew up kind of subliminally obsessed or forced to be obsessed about it because, their country or their father or what have you were involved in that insane situation in Germany in World War II. So you can't really blame them. And, history, it was a big thing. Back in the 60s, 70s, There was no cable, there was no internet, and all you had were like stories from your father or your family, or history books from school. And so you can't really blame anyone for being a history buff or an adamant fanatic of things that that comes down from their bloodlines. Now, in similar fashion, you had Tom Araya, and his family fled before even the Pinochet regime took over. So he didn't really experience that, but his family, unbeknownst to me, is either for or against what the Pinochet regime were able to accomplish. I think it was 1973, but the Araya family apparently were already out of there. And recent news is that Tom Araya, he had been celebrated and given an award by someone that is in office, I think in the Senate or in some sort of governmental capacity, and she's well known for being a Pinochet advocate and defender. And Tom Araya obviously knew this, and while he was accepting his award, he didn't mention anything political. He was just happy to be regarded as an asset, a musical asset for the Chilean community. And it's pretty obvious that that is the way to go if you're a musician and you've got to think about your livelihood, and you've got to think about backlash. So he obviously just said the right things, acted accordingly and politely. But if you accept an award by someone that is a well-known, ardent Pinochet, advocate in the government, basically everybody would put the pieces together and say, yeah, this guy is a Pinochet, how would you say, a sympathizer, and he obviously agreed to a point with the regime that apparently had a lot of people murdered. There was a lot of human rights violations. So the plot thickens. And what do you do in this situation? And Kerry King, he has been photographed doing the Roman salute, but that's kind of a thing that was happening with other white people within the genre in the 80s or 90s, and even Metallica did it. And I mean, both guys that were white did that, and obviously it was seen as a joke, and you can't really prosecute these people for it, and you can't really condemn them for it because they've never said anything else about race, politics, and all that. But it's a situation where you kind of have to just analyze it, think about it, and with the things that are going on today, you really have to consider who you are supporting and the people involved. Maybe they should have some sort of reckoning, or at least questioning. What do they really think? Where do their priorities lie, and where does their loyalties lie? I mean, thrash metal has always been political, but as far as I know, it's a worldwide. As far as I know, it's a worldwide genre of anti-political, anti-religious, and a cause for celebration and freedom against the traditional tropes of archaic mentalities that suppress the human spirit and the human endeavor. Sacred Reich comes to mind. So that's something for you all to consider. Think about it. Do something about it.